Hey guys, TVH here. Just want to do a quick video here on Shadowrun Returns. Just kind of addressing some of the criticisms, and I'm going to do a non-game. This is a non-gameplay one. I will maybe do a gameplay one down the road. If you looked at the trailers for the game, you've pretty much seen that, seen the gameplay for it. Maybe I'll get a little bit more in depth with it as far as the skills and the characters go, but and when I say you've already seen it, by the way, with the trailer, that's not necessarily putting it down. It's pretty simplistic. That's not really where the meat of the game is. The meat of the game is in the character and the story and the actual role-playing aspect of it. The biggest concern with it right now, or the biggest complaint I'm getting, is the save function. The game does not let you just save when you want. It saves in between each scene. So when you enter an area, it saves. It doesn't save again until you leave the area. And I'm seeing complaints online that, that's just way too long. I need to be able to save it when I want to, and this is this and that, this and that, this and that. Look, in the original campaign that the game comes with, if you're spending more than 45 minutes in one area, you have a problem. You're doing something wrong. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because the hyperbole of the 2 hours in an area is ridiculous. I've already finished the game. The campaign only takes about 10 to 12 hours. So if you're spending 2 hours in one area, again, you need to reevaluate maybe the way that you're playing it. Or set it aside. If I got you guys seen the videos. I got 2 kids running around here. But I beat it already, and I didn't neglect my kids at all. It's not hard. The game doesn't do anything. It's turn-based. So if you just leave it up and go do what you're gonna do, you can come back to it. It's going to be there. So that's one of those things where when I see people saying, I've already seen it, where people going, I'm not going to buy this game because of the save feature. No, there's another reason why you don't like it, and you need to maybe figure that out instead of blaming it on a non-issue like the save feature. I'm not defending it, and it may sound like I am. It was a decision that they made. You have to understand, guys, that this is made by a guy this is made by the creator of Shadowrun, who invented Shadowrun, the pen and paper game. And you have to understand, I played that game, middle school, high school, I played that game. And I'm not a fanboy of anything, but I could probably be criticized for being a Shadowrun fanboy to a point. Because it's definitely, I absolutely love the cyberpunk, the Shadowrun universe. But getting back to what I was saying, pen and paper games are notoriously hard. And yes, there's still people that play them, but it's not like it was growing up like in the 80s and 90s where, the video games weren't perfected yet. You didn't really have that. So, you had a group of friends sitting around playing these pen and paper games, and at some point, your character more than likely was going to die, and you were going to have to remake another character. They were hard. So the idea here is that the guy that created the game knew that people are, right now, all they're doing is they're saving before they even make a decision. They're saving every minute. They're saving. He didn't want that. That was a design decision. And it's a design decision that, oddly to me, pissed people off more than what I would expect people to get pissed over a $20 game. Considering, again, I think the most I spent on an area maybe was roughly 45 minutes to an hour in one area without being able to get to maybe the next save point. And I again remember a game where, some of the Final Fantasy, early Final Fantasy games, or I guess maybe for a better term would be some of the Phantasy Star games or things of that nature. Or Dragon Warrior, better example. You saved in towns. You got to make it to that next town to save. So, you know, you know, there was a time when death penalties in games were penalties, and he wanted to bring that back. So, you know, if that's the only reason why you don't like the game is you're saying the save feature, it's actually, I think, a different issue. But I'm not criticizing. That's fine. You're allowed to have that issue. But to say I'm not buying this game strictly because of the save issue for a $20 game, I'll tell you what, I'm less likely to buy a $60 game that's only 6 hours long that lets me save everywhere versus spending $20 on a game that's 10 to 12 hours long that I don't have any real control over my save. I'll take the 10 to 12 hours. That's me. I look at it's not the features, it's the length and what I'm getting out of the game that I'm more so getting to. So that one is addressed. The other thing that people are complaining about is voiceover work. You know, and people going, well, you know, why didn't they just get cheaper voice actors or this or that? Look, having been in voice acting, having done some voice acting, most voice actors, you guys get paid by the minute. So, you know, or the claim, you know, or the go, oh man, get free voice, you know, give free people to do it. Okay, number one, the quality is going to be terrible there, and number two, you're going to raise a stink with the voice acting community, with voice actors. There's already a lot of complaints going on right now that people are taking jobs for far less money than what they should be, bringing the overall cost of it down. You guys have to understand that a lot of voice actors, they, you know, they do it from their own studio. They don't fly out to, they're independently contracted. So they have their own, they either have their own studio or access to their own studio. Well, having done stuff, I have a lot of this stuff on my computer. And, you know, to give you guys an example, there's a lot of upkeep with that. I can get a program, say version 6, and like if there's an upgrade to version 6, like 6.1 or 6.2, where they fix and tweak stuff, I get that for free. But when it jumps to, say, version 7 of the program, I have to pay for an upgrade. So there's upkeep involved also, you know, as new things come out. I mean, and you want to, you know, people go, well, there's free programs out there. Yeah, but they don't have a lot of the professional stuff. If you really want to make a good professional sound recording, you got to shell out some cash. You're not going to get into the voiceover work you know, career path or even get some jobs without forking out some cash out of your own pocket and putting down some initial investments in that and some upkeep. I mean, there is maintenance and upkeep involved with that. So that's why, you know, that wasn't done. Also, when you look at everything that was done here, you know, I think that with this, again, it's that old school feel. And I think, again, ties in that save. I think when people say, I'm not going to get this because of the save, I'm not going to get this because of the voiceover work, just come out and say, this game is too old school for me. Because that's really what the complaint is I want a game that plays like it's a 2013 brand new release. I don't want to play a game that's retro gaming, or that feels like retro. Because that's what you're doing. I mean, that's what this is. This is essentially retro gaming at its best. So, you know, but back the voiceover. I mean, one of the complaints I have with voiceovers, and I apologize for the background noise on this video, guys. Just a lot of stuff going on. I just want to take the time and make a quick video. With voiceovers, you can't get across a lot of the times what you want with characters. You know, look at the budget of the game. The game got 1.8 on Kickstarter, which means it got about approximately $1.21 million of that money because of the fees associated with Kickstarter and all that kind of stuff. You know, look at like Star Wars: The Old Republic. $300 million into that game. And let's be honest, the voiceover work isn't the greatest. Some of it is really good, and some of it is really piss poor. And the other thing is after playing through it the first time, let's be honest, we all were spacebarring that shit. We heard it. Don't care. Get me going. I can do a quick read of what you're telling me. So I think that was a smart decision not to do that. And again, it's up this way too with the editor. With the Shadowrun, because the game comes with an editor to make your own campaigns, and I highly encourage anyone who's ever been a GM to get this, spend the $20 and make some amazing stuff, because that'd be awesome. And I really foresee some really great games, campaigns coming from this. But how many people at home making a game have access to someone like myself or voice actors or something like that, where they can call on their buddies and do really good voiceover work? Not a lot of people, and not a lot of people spent the money to get that going. So I think that's part of the reason why that was left out. So, and as far as the combat goes, it's definitely it's old school. It's the XCOM. It's XCOM with the simplified. But that being said, though, the character sheet is by far one of the best pen and paper to video game character sheets I've ever seen. You can really, it's completely open. You can make your character be whatever you want it to be. You want to be a shotgun toting mage. Done. You can do that. You want to be a big troll that's as smart as he can be and as charismatic as he can be and talk his way through situations. You can do that. So, and that's the other thing that's going to really, I think, help with the character editor, is knowing that people can play in a multitude of ways and give you the real tools of a GM and go, okay, you can do it this way, or I could put this in here and have it done this way, or it's really awesome for that regards. The original campaign is very well done. Again, the dialogue, there's a lot of walls of text, and it's done really well. People are complaining too about spelling errors and things like that. Okay, again, just relax on that. You have a 10 to 12 hour campaign being written here. You're going to have something done by the community. There's going to be errors. I'm really surprised, when it's so funny to me that this $20 little Kickstarter game is getting so much complaints on bugs, and yet a $60 game that's maybe 6 hours long, buggy as shit, and people are defending the hell out of it. Well, it's this and that. It's I don't get the rationale with gamers anymore, guys. I really feel, sadly, and again, I'm not putting anybody down, but I feel so disconnected from my fellow gamers and the game designers. That's why when I see something like this, I'm very happy with it. So, the game is not, it's kind of like I said in the Secret World review, beta review, or just the beta video, I guess. That was not a game that's for everyone. And this is not a game that's for everyone. If you're a Shadowrun fan, you're a fan of Cyberpunk, there's no reason why you haven't spent the $20 and got it. If you've ever been in the pen and paper, you like that kind of thing, by all means, do it. Retro, you're a retro gamer, get this game. It's one of your best retro experiences you're going to get. If walls of text are not your thing, if not being able to save every move you make is not your thing, if you're not in the retro, you want your big budget games, don't touch this. I mean, it's really not designed for you. And that's not a bad thing. Not every game has to be designed for you. I do not touch any Facebook games. They're not made for me. Action platformers or puzzle games are really not for me. I prefer my RPGs. I like my open world sandbox games. Um, I like games with a lot of choice. I like games with a lot of atmosphere. Um, you know, Battlefield, Call of Duty, not for me, but they're for a lot of other people, and that's okay. That's fine. We're all different. Um, I think, you should pretty much know if this game's for you or not. Um, and that's fine if it isn't. That's okay. Go on and go to the next game. There's plenty of games that aren't for me, and I'm okay with that. And um, but again, if what I talked about kind of intrigues you, again, it's $20. I'm really stingy. I have not bought a game in a year because I've just not been completely underwhelmed with what's been going on with games lately. I have a problem with selling out $60 for 6 hours. 6 hours of gameplay, paying basically $10 an hour. I'll be honest with you. I loved Borderlands 2, but that game burnt me out with just all the DLC and all the little nickel and diming on the money that one had on it. You know, I guess I have a big problem with I guess for me, maybe it is me getting older. Um, I remember when games came out, that was it. It was done. You couldn't, there was no DLC for Castlevania. You had to wait for Castlevania 2. Um, so I do have a kind of a problem with some DLC, and yes, people are going to go, well, there's DLC that's going to be coming out for this. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. And I'll be able to evaluate that when it comes out. But there's also going to be a lot of free community-made games coming out for it, or campaigns coming out for it. So if I don't necessarily buy the DLC right away, or if I don't buy the DLC at all, I'm not really out anything because there's still going to be content that's going to be coming out for it from the community. Whereas some of these other games, unless it's sanctioned by this company, that's it. And I think maybe that's where some of the fear is coming in from, is maybe a lot of these people are, I shouldn't say a lot, but maybe some of them are I could see where this is a very threatening concept to a lot of big corporate the publishers. Oh, wait, you're giving away free content? What are you doing? Absolutely not. No, we need to flame this as fast as we can here. And and I think that's part of the reason why this game really had to go through Kickstarter, was there was no publisher that was going to go, oh yeah, of course, send it with an editor. Have people make whatever they want. And it's a pretty open editor versus some of the ones that have come out. And, like we can look at Neverwinter Nights, which is probably another somewhat good example of this as far as the view goes of it. Picture Neverwinter Nights view with XCOM tactics in it. And I'm actually not a big guy at role-playing, strategy games, getting in the older games again, things like Ogre Tactics and Shining Force didn't really do it for me. I'm not a fan of those. Final Fantasy Tactics was not a huge fan of, but I do like the way this one was done. It was done very slick, simplistic in that regards. So, it definitely has some appeal to it. But yeah, again, it's not for $20. It's not a bad little game. The campaign is only 10 to 12 hours. It is short, in my opinion, for an RPG. If I had paid $60, if I paid full price, big budget game for this, I would be making a rage video right now, I think, and go, wow, I just totally got gypped. But $20. I should be honest, I pre-ordered it, so $17. I'm a dick, $3 off. I pre-ordered it months ago when it came up on Steam for pre-order. I'm glad I did. Like I said, it's probably the first game I bought in a year. That's being generous as far as a year, probably a little bit longer. So I would recommend checking it out if you like the things I said here. If not, you don't have to. It's again, not every game is for everyone, and I'm not trying to put people down. I'm not, it's just the things that people complain about on little things like this, and let the big things slide on games like You saw my Star Wars review. That was a $300 million budget game I paid a lot of money for, and I feel screwed on that one. This one, there's a couple bugs in it. There's a little bit of spelling errors here and there. It's a simplistic $20 game, but I didn't expect perfection. So, there it is, guys. So, and I maybe will do a little thing on it, like go through the character, creator, and editor, and that type of thing. So, thanks for watching. You know, you subscribe. And let me know what you think. Hit me up on Facebook or on the YouTube page. See you guys on the next video.